Hi and welcome to Annalise Maths. Today we're going to be looking at fractions. This is my second video of 3 on fractions, so check them all out to get a full understanding of this topic. In this video we're going to be looking at simplifying an equivalent. So by the end of this video you're going to know that common equivalent fractions. You're going to understand that an equivalent fraction looks different but has the same value, and we're going to recap that when the top and the bottom number of a fraction are the same, this is equivalent to 1. So keywords are thirds, quarters, fifths, tenths, whole number and shapes. We looked at thirds, quarters, fifths and tenths in the first video, so check that out if you haven't already. The most common things where people lose marks in this topic are that people are happy that a fraction is one thing split into parts. So for example, a rectangle split into parts, or a cake or a pizza. When it gets to fractions of an amount of people or an amount of money, that's sometimes when it causes confusion. This will be looked at in more detail in my fractions of an amount video. And often people lack understanding that fractions can be equivalent, for example, the same size. That's what we're going to look at today. So let's quickly recap the language for fractions. So fractions, two numbers, our top number is the numerator and the bottom number is the denominator. The denominator is how many parts makes up a whole, and the numerator is how many parts we have, for example, 2/5. Don't forget that if my numerator and my denominator are both the same, this is equivalent to 1. So if I had 4/4 of a pizza, I've got a full pizza. Okay, let's talk about simplifying. Now, simplifying fractions mean finding the lowest number the numerator and the denominator can divide by. When we simplify fractions, it's to make it look smaller, to make it look nicer, easier to understand. So for example, 12/15. So which number will 12 and 15 both divide by? Okay, they both divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 12/15 is equivalent to 4/5. We can simplify 12/15 to 4/5. Let's simplify 8/24. Now, they both divide by 2. Let's divide them by 2. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. So 18/24 can simplify to 9/12, and 18/24 is therefore equivalent to 9/12. But 9 and 12, they're both in the 3 times table, so I can simplify this further. They'll both divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now these numbers cannot divide any further. This means I have fully simplified my fraction. If you're simplifying fractions, always have another look and think, will that go any lower? Will it get any smaller? I could have done this bottom one in one go. I could have said, okay, 18/24, 18/24, both of those divide by 6. 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. 24 divided by 6 gives me 4. So it doesn't matter if I've simplified it in one go, as I have on the top there, or if I've simplified it in 2 goes, as I did in my original example, as long as I make sure I've simplified it fully. Let's do a couple more examples together. So 70/100. Now 70/100, 70 and 100 both divide by 10. So that'll be 70 divided by 10 is 7, and 100 divided by 10 is 10. 36/60. Now both of these will divide by 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6, and 60 divided by 6 is 10. 6 and 10 both divide by 2. Let's keep going. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now they're fully simplified. Okay, your turn. I would like to pause the video and see if you can simplify these fractions, please. Okay, let's see how you got on. Hopefully you got these answers. So the first one both divided by 2. For this one, they both divided by 4. Divide by 3, divide by 5, divide by 5, and divide by 4. Now what we've been doing is we've been forming equivalent fractions. So equivalent fractions are fractions that have the same value, they're equal. Now we've been doing it by simplifying, we've been making things smaller, but we could also make things bigger to get an equivalent fraction. We can only do this by multiplying or dividing. We're keeping it within the same scale. We can't subtract or add to get an equivalent fraction. And whatever I do to the numerator, I must do exactly the same thing to the denominator, or vice versa. Whatever I've done to the bottom, do the same to the top to make sure I'm keeping it within the same scale. So let's have a look. Here are 4 fractions that are equivalent. Now this first one is a half. The second one, 2/4. The third one, 4/8. And the final one, 8/16. As you can see, these fractions are all equal. And in the case of this, I've made them bigger by 2. I've multiplied by 2 each time. Let's see what this might look like in an exam situation. So Raya and her friends want to rent a flat with parking. In their town, 3 of the 15 flats have parking. What fraction is equivalent to 3/15? Pause and give it a go. Okay, let's see. Hopefully you selected 1/5. 3/15, 3 divided by 3 is 1, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Let's do another one. Pause and give this one a go. In a game, you need to hit a target with a ball to win a prize. 4 out of the 20 children win a prize. What fraction of children win a prize? Okay, let's see how you got on. Hopefully you got a 5th. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, here's a one that can be solved by equivalent fractions or by fractions of an amount. So I'm going to see if you can see how to solve it the equivalent fraction way. So Ellery goes to a horse riding class. There are 15 people in total in the class. 5 people in the class are disabled. Ellery thinks that 1/5 of the people in the class are disabled. Is Ellery correct? Pause and give it a go. Okay, one way to answer this question is to simplify 5/15, because if 5 people in the class are disabled out of 15 people in total, that means 5/15 are disabled, which would simplify to 1/3. So no, he's not correct. This question will show in my fractions of an amount video as well, because it can also be solved in that way, and it doesn't matter which way you solve it. So what we've looked at in this video is we've looked at common equivalent fractions, we've looked at how equivalent fractions look different but have the same value, and we've recapped that when the top number and the bottom number are the same, it's equivalent to 1. So thank you for watching, best of luck with your studies, don't forget to like and subscribe, and any questions please pop in the comments.